From Butler High School's natatorium, it's a night of swimming between the Butler High School Golden Tornadoes and the Seneca Valley Raiders. Good evening. This is Ed Cody to bring you this meet along with our swim analysts. For diving first, it would be Paige Williams, a junior. She was a swimmer but suffered an injury in an accident and is turned into an analyst now, but you are going to return next year.
Of course I am. I hope to make a speedy recovery and be back for next year at the start of the season.
Well, Paige, what are we going to look for here in a diving? Of course, each diver is going to get 6 dives, correct?
Correct.
And then on a level 1 to 10, then they'll add them up with a degree of difficulty.
Correct. They take each dive, add the 3 scores from each judge together, and then multiply that by the DD.
So what's better, to have a degree of difficulty or to do something less difficult and do it perfectly?
Well, it depends on the degree of difficulty, but probably to do a better dive than to have a high degree difficulty.
We look at these two teams, the Butler boys 7-3, the Seneca Valley boys 9-2, the Butler girls 6-3, Seneca Valley girls an outstanding year, 10-1, and I'm assuming that one loss probably came at the hands of undefeated North Allegheny. Still, as we talked before, I don't know how many championships in a row for the girls. This might be their 9th or 10th in a row that they're going for, and numerous state championships. So they're the barometer against which every other swimming team measures.
Yes.
And were you down here for the meet this year?
I was, and they did outstanding in that meet.
Yes, they have a program. When you have a boys team that was #1 in the country last year in swimming, that just tells you how powerful that swim program is. But Butler, as you know, tremendous strides, both boys and girls, since last season. They made a great improvement since. I think last year he just hovered around the 500 level.
Yeah, for sure.
Alana's first dive is going to be a 101B forward dive, height position 2.3.
Okay, we're going to start off with the diving.
That was a very nice dive for Alana. She went a little bit long on the entry, which is why you had the extra splash. But it's Alana's first year diving, and she's a freshman this year.
So the difficulty of that one was at
That's a pretty low degree difficulty. I forget what he said. I believe it was 1.7, but
are we able to see the score posted?
she got a 6, and a 5.5, which made, with the degree of difficulty, at 22.75 for her first round.
And Ashley Felitsky from Seneca Valley. Her form looked pretty tight.
Yes,
is that what you're looking for?
Yes, that was a very clean entry, which is what the judges typically look for. She got a 6, 5.5, and a 7. So she's currently in first place.
Is that a pretty good disparity? 6, 5.5, and then a 7? You sometimes wonder if the judges, having dived yourself, that you look and say, what was the one judge thinking about?
Yeah, some of the judges are looking for different things when they're judging the meet. So some may be looking more at form, height, distance from the board.
Scores 5.5, 5.0, 6.0. Up next for Seneca Valley, Riley Smith with a 103B. Forward 1.5.
Now for Butler, was that Emily
I
Kirkwood?
think that was Gabby Lucas.
Gabby Lucas. And now this is Riley Smith for Seneca Valley.
Yes, she's a sophomore this year, I believe, and she's a very good diver. She dives down at Pitt for their diving club.
Oh, so during the regular season, you could be in your high school team and still be involved with a diving club?
You can.
Up next for Butler, Gabby Lucas with a 103C. Forward 1.5, top position 1.6.
So Riley got a 6, 6.5, and I missed the other score. Part of the scoreboard is blocked from us.
Scores 5.5, 5.5, 6.0.
So 2 5.5s and a 6.0.
So that was pretty consistent scoring there, which is good.
And that was Emily.
That one was Gabby. I'm
That
sorry, I
one
got
was
them mixed
Gabby.
up.
Don't worry about it. I've made a number of those mistakes. Now this is Maddie Montalbano,
Yes.
Seneca Valley.
She made it to Whippeals last year, I know, and I'm pretty sure she placed pretty high up.
Now
She had
that
a very
form
nice
really
dive.
looks strong. Now, all the Seneca Valley divers doing the same thing. How would you describe what they're doing?
That's
They're all doing
a
the same.
front 1.5 in the pike position, and that's a common dive once you get to a more advanced level to do as a voluntary dive.
Now we go to the boys.
This is Adaraja Kodka. It's his first year diving, and he joined halfway through the season, so he's pretty new to the sport.
That looked like he came off a little flat.
Yeah, he went too far out into the pool, but he had a nice entry, so.
Score is 4.0, 3.0, 3.0.
3.0s. And we didn't get the scores for Maddie, did we? I missed them.
I don't think we said those.
Up next for Seneca Valley is Trevor Elliott with a 103.
Trevor Elliott now for the Raiders.
Pike position 1.7.
That was a nice dive for Trevor. He went a little bit long on the entry, which is why you also saw the splash again.
Score is 6.5,
But
6.5,
his scores showed that it was a very good dive.
2 6.5s and a 7.
with a 101C forward dive, tuck position 1.2.
That was Cole Kish, and he's a senior this year, but he originally started as a swimmer this year for the first time, and then halfway through the season, 2 of our boys got hurt, so he's diving for us to fill in.
4.0. Now, what he did in that dive, it looked like like an ordinary dive. How would you describe that?
That's just a front dive, and I believe he was doing it in the tuck position.
So when you do something simple, they're really looking for you to do it almost to precision.
Yeah, you should have perfect execution on those.
That was Matthew Laslavic of Seneca Valley.
6.0, 6.0.
3 6.0s.
Up next for Butler, Tom LaRue with a 103C forward 1.5, tuck position 1.6.
Tom LaRue of Butler. He got high off the board.
He
on
did.
that
He
one.
can jump very high on the board. Tom's actually a foreign exchange student this year from France, so it's the first time he's experienced diving.
Okay, here we go. Round number 2.
3 5.0s.
Lana's next dive is a 103C forward 1.5, tuck position 1.6.
Alana's dive once again went a little bit long on the entry, causing the splash, which is because she checks out of the dive too late when she's in the air.
So when you say long in the entry, you mean
Her
instead of
body's
going up?
over-rotating.
Okay.
2.2.
That looked like a more difficult dive.
That is more difficult dive. That's a 2.2 degree difficulty, which is a big difference from her first dive, which was probably a 1.7.
Tuck position 1.4. Score is 3.0, 4.5.
3.0, 4, 5, and 4.
Riley's next dive for Seneca Valley is a 104C forward 2 somersault tuck position 2.2.
Riley Smith.
Riley Smith. She had a very nice takeoff from the board.
Strong finish.
Yeah. The nice takeoff allows her to go up higher in the air, rotate faster, and then kick out with straight legs at the end.
So if you don't get the elevation, you're more likely to introduce an air into your finish.
Yes.
Position 2.2.
Now, it looked like she was leaning back as she entered into the pool,
She
so that
was.
would cost her some points.
She didn't jump high enough on that dive and rotate fast enough, so she didn't have time to kick out in time to get vertical.
Let me ask you, more difficult if you're taller than shorter? Is there any...
Well, you can get higher off the board, so you're spinning at a higher point in the air, but you also have longer legs to get into a ball, so you can't get as tiny to flip around faster.
Scores 5.0, 5.5, 6.0. Ad's next dive is a 102.
5.5, 5.5, and 6.0.
Somersault tuck position 1.4.
Kadka. You got a little higher that time.
He was higher that time. He's just leaning too forward, far forward whenever he leaves the board, and it's making him land too far from the diving board.
3.5, 3.0, and I think he had another 3.0.
Tuck position 2.2.
Trevor Elliott, Seneca Valley. A little bit of a rough finish.
Yeah, he really rode the board well to get high up in the air, and then he flipped so fast he didn't have time to come out.
To recover.
Yeah.
Cole's next dive is a 103C, forward 1.5. Tuck position 1.6.
Cole Kish. And what about his entry into the pool? It looked like his legs are coming over the top a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't squeeze his abs tight, because if you check in your abs, they can go straight in the water, but if you let them loose, your legs will flop over.
Reverse to somersault, tuck position 2.2.
Matthew Leslavic, Seneca Valley. How much thinking do you do when you're doing all this as compared to just being trained?
In practice, I say I think a lot because I overthink my dives whenever I try to fix them, but during a meet, I just try not to think about it and just dive.
That looked like a very difficult dive there for the Slavic.
Scores 5.5, 5.5, 5.0.
Tough to get those 7 scores.
Our second round is
Have to be almost perfect to get them.
5.5 and a 5.0.
2.2.
Another 5 for Leslavic. And this is Tom LaRue.
That was a nice dive for Tom. He got very high in the air, but at the end, he doesn't squeeze his arms to his side, so he may get points deducted for
So
that.
keeping those arms in and those legs in and finishing tight, that's if you don't do it, it's going to cost you some points.
Yes, because the tinier you can enter the water, the smaller splash you're going to have.
So he gets a 5.0.
Leading off round number 3, Alana with a 201C back dive, tuck position 1.5.
So we're into round 3 of the dives, halfway through. I believe this is Alana
This is
Collins.
Alana, yes.
Just just didn't seem to get high enough off the board, did
No,
she?
she didn't rotate her hips up enough to get straight into the water.
5.5.
Right now, halfway through, she's at a 68.55 for her score, so
Inward 1.5.
she should hit 100 at this meet.
But there's a disparity, 5.5 and a 4.0. Is this Ashley Flitsky?
Scores 5.0, 5.5, 6.0.
5.0, 5.5, and 6.0.
Emily's next dive tonight is a 103C forward 1.5, tuck position 1.6.
That dive for Emily, she goes in the air and she split her legs a little bit during her flip, which
Finish.
yeah, which may have some points deducted.
3 4.0s for Emily Kirkwood. Riley Smith of Seneca Valley. How much work do you do off the trampoline? Do you do a lot of work on the tramp and preparing for dives?
At Butler, we don't have a tramp to practice on, but we do a lot of board work, and we even do work on the side of the pool to work on kickouts and how to get into the water in a nice way.
That looked like a strong finish for Riley.
That was a great dive by
compact.
Riley.
Score is 6.5, 6.0, 7.0.
6.5, 6.0, and 7.0.
Gabby,
Maybe the best
1C inward dive,
so far.
position 1.4.
This is Gabby.
Gabby Lucas.
Always worrying that dive about hitting the board, and I'm sure that's probably happened in practice.
Yeah, it has.
Score is 6.0, 6.0, 6.5.
6.0, 6.0, and 6.5.
Maddie, your next dive is a 203C. back
I noticed some
tuck position.
divers get up there and they don't hesitate at all, and others take a little bit more time.
Yeah, you're supposed to go to the end of the board and make sure you set and stop the board before you start your dive, or else you can get points deducted, and they have to take away 2, I believe.
Whoa. Maddie Montalbano, Seneca Valley.
Score is 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
2.0, 3.0, and a 4. It just looked like she didn't get herself ready for entry into the water that time.
Yeah, she didn't get high enough off the board to be able to rotate enough to get in the water at a good angle.
All right, back to the boys. It's Gadka for Butler.
Ad didn't open up.
His legs should have been straight, right? They were tucked.
Yeah, he stayed in his tuck to go in the water, and you need to extend your legs to go straight in the water.
Trevor, your next dive is a 105.
There's a 2.0 score. Trevor Elliott for Seneca Valley. Boy, it looked strong until the finish. He just didn't get that last tuck.
Score is 4.5, 3.0, 4.0.
Did he not get high enough on that page?
No,
Next dive is a 201A.
I don't believe so. I don't know if he was going for a front double or a front 2.5.
Cole Kish for Butler.
So that dive landed very up and down for Cole, but his body wasn't extended enough to be straight in a line. So they made deduct some points for that.
Didn't have his legs.
His legs weren't tight enough and toes weren't pointed.
There's so many little things that you have to do.
Yeah.
4-0, 3-0. Matthew Slavic from Seneca Valley. Well, that looked pretty strong.
That was a really nice dive there. He got really high off the board, rotated fast, and then kicked off.
He looks tall to me. 3.65s.
Tom LaRue's up next with a 201C back dive, top position 1.5.
Tom LaRue for Butler.
So coming off the board, Tom reached too long with his arms, but didn't bring his legs up enough to kick them high enough, so he landed flat.
So important. If you don't get that elevation, everything else just doesn't fall into place.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we're headed into the fourth round.
That was a good stand-up for Alana. She kicked her legs a little bit too low so that she couldn't get the whole way through on her dive, and it landed a little bit short, but it was almost up and down.
A 6-0, a 5-5.
203C back 1.5, top position 2.0.
So the dive you select already has a level of difficulty built into it, point-wise.
Yes. There's a chart for the 1 meter and 3 meter degree difficulties that are set for every high school round.
There's Filitsky. So what about her finish there?
Her finish, she landed a little bit too short because her body didn't spin fast enough to get the whole way up and down. She just kicked a little bit too much at the board rather than up toward the ceiling.
Just Emily.
Emily Kirkwood.
Okay.
So the dive for Emily was good. She didn't jump very high off the board, but she had a nice entry. She should work on getting her legs together, though, probably. It may give her a higher score.
Do you like your coach to come around during the meets and say something after dives you'd rather not?
No, I definitely like whenever he comes around and gives us critiques on our dive because it helps us for the next dive, because all the dives are connected in some type of way, whether it's the start or how high you get off the board. It's helpful to have someone else there watching to tell you what you can't feel in the air.
Well, that looked pretty strong.
6.0, 5.5, 5.0.
6-0, 5-5, 5-0. That was Maddie Montalbano.
302C reverse, one somersault, top position 1.6.
This is Gabby Lucas. Such a great elevation.
She got really great height on that flip, and she rotated fast and kicked out of it. It's just hard to get high scores when you go feet first because you can't have as clean of an entry.
5-5, 6-0, and 5-0. This is Maddie Montalbano. I think the last one was Riley, I think.
It's a very nice dive by Maddie.
7.0, 7.0, 7.5.
May have been the highest score of the night.
7-0, 7-0, and 7-5.
Add your next dive is a 201A back dive, straight position 1.7.
Kadka for Butler.
So Ad didn't jump high enough on that dive, and he reached too long with his arm, so it's going to make him rotate fast, and then there's nothing you can do to fix it once you have that start.
You don't get that elevation, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Dive is a 303C, reverse 1.5, tuck position 2.1.
I think this is Laslavic.
I think this one would be Elliot.
Oh, this would be Elliot. Everything looked good until the finish page.
He just didn't get to rotate fast enough to kick high enough and follow through on the dive.
6-0, 6-0, 5-0.
301C, reverse dive, tuck position 1.6.
This is Kish for Butler.
Cole started, and his chest was a little bit too far up. That it was going to make him over-rotate. He did a really good job of kicking out and then making sure he went straight in the water.
Did the same thing with the legs this time as the last time.
He needs to work on kicking his legs out straight to go in the water more.
Now this is Laslavic for Seneca Valley.
It's a really nice dive by Matthew.
He got that elevation.
Score 6.5, 5.5, 6.5.
6-5, 5-5, and 6-5.
Up next for Butler.
I believe that dive just put him in first place.
301C, reverse dive, tuck position 1.6.
Well, how did you see that finish?
Tom has great stand-ups on his dives, but he doesn't get his legs up high enough to go straight in the water again. It's a common problem among divers. It's hard to find a very good point to kick your legs because it's hard to go either too short or too long. It's hard to meet in the middle.
It's the difference between having a good dive or maybe a great dive.
Yeah.
Now, are we headed into round? Is this still 5 or under 6? This is 5. We're in the 5th round.
That was a really nice dive by Alana. She had a nice stand-up. She was close enough to the board that that's a good distance to be where you're not too close, not too far away, and then she had a really nice entry.
Up next,
It's Alana Collins at Butler.
301B, reverse dive, tight position 1.7.
Ashley Felitsky for Seneca Valley.
That was a really,
She had her
really
legs
nice form.
straight and together and tight, like you said. You need to
6.0, 7.0.
7-0, 6-0, and 7-0.
Emily's up next with a 401C inward dive, tuck position.
Emily Kirkwood for Butler.
Emily had a nice entry on that dive. She pushed her hips a little bit too far back, so she was carried away from the board, but then she recovered and got into the water very nice.
Riley's up next with a
Riley Smith
3D
for Seneca Valley.
1.5 twist, free position 2.3.
You actually want your feet touching on the finish page, do
You should
you?
have everything touching. The whole way down, your legs should be touching.
That is a tough dive.
It is.
Score 6.0, 6.0, 6.0.
3 6-0s.
Gabby, your next dive is a 202C back, 1 somersault, tuck position 1.5.
Gabby Lucas for Butler.
Score 6.5, 6.5, 6.5.
3 6.5s.
She had a really nice stand up on that dive, good rotation, so she could go straight in the water. And a lot of people flinch, but it's probably just from our angle.
Inward 1.5, top position 2.2.
Maddie Montalbano for Seneca Valley. That one scared me. I thought she was going to hit that board. But she looked like she had strong finish.
Score 7.5, 6.5, 6.5.
7.5, 6.5, 6.5.
She had a really nice stand up, good rotation, and then she got straight in the water.
So how do you, when you, that dive coming back, how do you, like, how far do you have to get out so you don't hit that board?
Should be about maybe 3 feet away from the board would be a good area.
We're now headed into the 6th round, I believe. Katka for Butler. What'd you see there, Paige, in his finish?
It wasn't the greatest finish. He should try to be more up and down with it and have his body a little bit tighter.
3.0, 2.5, 2.5.
Somersault, half twist, free position 2.1.
Trevor Elliott for Seneca Valley. Looked good until the ending.
He needed a little bit more rotation at the beginning so that he could get it the whole way to vertical, because if you don't have the rotation at the beginning, you won't be able to dig for it at the end.
3.5, a 5.0, and a 4.0.
It is a 401C inward dive, top position 1.4.
It's Cole Kish. Got the elevation, but what happened with the finish?
He had a good stand-up. He pushed his hips too far back, so then he wasn't going to be able to stick the landing right up and down, and he went a little bit too far over.
Back dive, 2 somersaults, top position 2.2.
Slavic for Seneca Valley.
So that dive is a very difficult dive. You have to get very high off the board and have a nice stand-up with good shoulder and postures. And he got high off the board. I think he needed to spin a little bit faster to have a nice kick out. But overall, it was a really nice dive.
Just didn't get that extension at the end.
Exactly.
So I had a 4.0, 4.5. LaRue for Butler.
So coming off the board, Tom didn't extend his body straight before he initiated the dive. And whenever you do that, your shoulders can come off balance, and that's why you saw a little bit of
He
turn
was
in his dive.
Twisted. 3.0.
1 somersault, 1 twist, free position 1.9.
So it was a nice dive by Alana. She had a nice stand-up. She had a good twist. And then her body, she twisted her shoulders, not at the same time as her hips. So that's why you saw a little bit of a twitch in there.
Did she need more elevation on that?
It was good. If she would have gone higher, then she would have probably flown on her belly.
5.0, 5.0, and a 4.5 for Alana Collins. Ashley Flitsky.
Also a very nice dive. She had a nice entry. She could have twisted a little bit more at the end, I think. She needed a little bit more rotation, but it was a nice dive.
3.55s.
5.211D back dive, half twist, straight position, 1.8.
So Emily could have jumped that dive up a little bit higher probably, and it would have saved her from the over-rotation at the end because she would have converted the horizontal motion into vertical motion.
So for Emily Kirkwood, 3.5, 3.5, and 4.0. Riley Smith for Seneca Valley. What a difficult dive.
The dive has a high degree of difficulty, and she executed it very well. She got high off the board, made a full twist, and then dove it in with the perfect entry.
5.5, 5.5, and 6.0.
Inward one somersault, chuck position, 1.6.
Gabby Lucas for Butler. And how would you rate that dive?
It was a nice dive. She had a great stand-up again, and then her rotation was nice, and she just came out of the dive a little bit late, which is why you saw her lean towards the board at the end.
So she has a 5.5 to 6.0. Maddie Montalbano of Seneca Valley.
It's a very nice dive
Very
from Maddie.
strong.
She had a great stand-up, very good rotation, and then she was able to stay close to the board and finish it within a good distance, and nice entry.
Add your last dive tonight is a 5.
When you get the elevation, everything else seems to follow through.
Straight position, 1.8.
You get a 3.6.0s. Now we're back to the boys. Gadka for Butler.
So it was a nice dive for Ad. He had a pretty good entry on that for his takeoff. If he would have stood the takeoff more and had more vertical takeoff, he could have had a more vertical entry.
Back 1.5, tuck position, 2.0.
Trevor Elliott for Seneca Valley. His best dive.
He had a very nice stand-up on that. He got really high off the board. He had quick rotation, and then his kickoff was really nice because you could see him arch into the water.
Dive tonight is a 104C, forward, 2 somersault, tuck position, 2.2.
Cole Kish for Butler.
had a high elevation on that one, but his chest wasn't up at the beginning, so he wasn't able to get a good enough stand-up to rotate as quickly as he did and then come out in a great time. He just rotated too quickly, and you saw the result.
The 3-0 scores. He looked like he was leaning forward as he was entering into the water. Slavic for Seneca Valley.
Very good dive for Matthew. He had a great stand-up, good rotation, and then a good entry because his legs were together the whole way, toes pointed, and the scores show that.
6-0, 6-5.
And our final diver tonight, Tom LaRue, 5-1-2-1-D, forward 1 somersault.
Tom LaRue, final dive.
It was a nice dive for Tom. He had a great stand-up, a good flip, and then he did that little rotation at the end. And that's a really hard dive to perform because if you go too far, you won't be able to make the rotation in time. And he did a great job with that dive.
Yeah, 5-5, 5-5, and a 5-0. That completes the diving. So we will take about a 10-minute break and come back with the swimming events. So overall, what did you like about the diving for Butler versus Seneca Valley?
For Butler and Seneca, it's hard because their divers have a lot more experience than our divers, but I think our divers did a great job, and I think their divers did a great job for their stand-ups, and everyone's entries were really nice, and I think it was a great season for us.
So they haven't added up the scores yet?
They haven't. I know that...
Who would you give the advantage to when it comes to the girls between Butler and Seneca Valley? It's too close for me to tell. I know that.
I think Seneca definitely won the meet for the girl side. I know Riley got 2:33.50. She was the 4th diver. She's in 1st place right now. And for the boys, I think it was Seneca as well.
Now, how many of the divers or any of the divers do they compete in some of the other events?
We have the 2 boys, Tom and Cole. They both compete in the swimming, and I believe those are our only divers that compete in the swimming. I think some of the Seneca divers compete for their team, though.
Is that pretty normal because of the amount of time required for the diving?
Yeah, normally you need to go to every diving practice each day to see improvements, so it's hard to do both sports.
Well, Paige, I thank you. Hope you get back on track for next year and get healthy and strong, and we'll see you diving here next year.
I hope so.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you.
What's on tonight?
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
I am back, and now joined by our swimming analyst, Amy Bocci, who had her swimming career at Penn Trafford High School and Edinburgh University, and just finished with Paige Williams, our analyst for the diving, and she did an outstanding job. So, Amy, you look at these 2 teams, and they're pretty close. The Seneca Valley girls 10-1. The only loss was the powerful North Allegheny, and the boys have an outstanding record. They're 9-2. The Butler boys 7-3. And I looked at their scores at North Allegheny. This ought to be a pretty competitive swim meet.
It will. Seneca Valley definitely, you can see they have way more swimmers, so they have depth. Whereas we may get a 1st place, but they could get 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which ends up getting more points. So,
well, from last year when we did the meet with Titusville compared to this year, I see great improvement in the Butler swim program.
Yes, absolutely.
So our first event will be
the 200-yard medley relay. So each swimmer does 2 laps. of each stroke. Backstroke first, then breaststroke, then butterfly, then freestyle.
So you have for Seneca Valley, you have Delaney Ranawira, Gianna Petrella, Abigail Perry, Sydney Swieger, and for Butler, Morgan Castile, Caitlin Knights, Eve Merhout, and Ellie Weiss.
Those are in lanes 1 and 2. So Butler has lanes 2, 4, and 6, the even lanes, and Seneca Valley has the odd 1, 3, and 5.
200 medley relay.
So right now, Abby Griffith from Butler is in the lead. And the breaststroker in lane 4 for Butler is Laura Gettler. And the breaststroker, Edie Sawyer, in lane 3 for Seneca. Laura Gettler doing the breaststroke for Butler. She broke 2 pole records this season, one at North Allegheny and one at Pine Richland in the 100 breaststroke.
You know, that's so impressive at North Allegheny with their great tradition of swimming that she broke that record there. It's just not any place. That's one of the great programs
the best place
in the
to beat
state
it.
of
That's
Pennsylvania.
Right.
Great accomplishment for her.
Yes.
And just a junior.
Yes, just a junior, yes. So Rachel Ledford's in the water for Butler, swimming butterfly. And for Seneca Valley, we have Kendall Craig in lane 3. Close race. Savannah Holt just dove in for Butler, lane 4, swimming the freestyle. And in lane 3, Bella Stefanovitz for Seneca Valley.
I'm glad you could read that a lot better than I can.
Oh, it's coming down to the end.
And very close at the end.
Very close, and Butler with 1:53.41.
And how good a time is that?
That qualifies for Whippeals by a good amount.
1:53.1.
4-1, and Seneca in second with 1:53.99.
Is that as close as it sounds?
It's pretty close. I don't know what we did before electronic timing systems and touchpads. The officials called it.
It's the way everything is going right now in sports.
So next we have the boys 200 medley relay. This should be a close race as well. So in lane 4, and I know I keep saying lane 4, but lane 4 and 3 are your fastest heats. In lane 4 for Butler, we have Alex Deemer swimming backstroke. In lane 3, Jonathan Simoes is for Seneca.
So how do you get 4 and 3? Is it what you've done previously during the year?
Yes. Yeah. The fastest 2 heats are always in the middle of the pool.
Okay.
Yeah. So for Seneca in lane 3, we have Daniel Simoes. In lane 4 for Butler is my son David, swimming the breaststroke, which is this is his worst stroke, but we don't have any boy breaststrokers.
And you have to have someone to do that event.
Yeah, but
that seems like one of the more difficult swimming events.
Yeah, it takes a lot of coordination, that's for sure. So for Seneca in lane 3, we have Owen Blazer just dove in for the butterfly. And in lane 4, Sam Deemer swimming butterfly for Butler.
The Deemers have had a very strong year.
Yes.
Are they
all
twins?
All four Deemer brothers have swam for Butler. Ryan graduated from Ashland University. Joey is at Gannon University. Alex is on the team. He's a senior. He's going to Gannon to swim. And Sam is a sophomore. In the water for Butler, freshman Ben Borvendeg's having an outstanding season. And in lane 3 for Seneca is Max Steen finishing up the freestyle. And Ben is closing in. Oh, wow, close. Good race.
Very close between.
Yeah, Seneca wins it with 140.13, and Butler second, 140.64. Again, half a second.
Wow, 140.13 for Seneca Valley, and Butler
140.64.
You called it. You said it would be close.
And the next event is the girls' 200-yard freestyle. This is 8 laps freestyle. So it's pretty difficult. It's pretty much a distance sprint. I compare it to the 800 meter in track.
Great. You have to have great endurance to do this.
Yes.
So it looks like, is Butler going to have 3 and 4?
Butler's always in the even lanes, 2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
And the Seneca's in even, odd, 1, 3, and 5.
I didn't realize that Seneca Valley girls, until I did some research, they were 10 and 1. I was very impressed to see that with only that one loss to North Allegheny.
Very impressive, both teams.
And what was that all about, Amy, that they made them step down?
The kick pad in the back in lane 6 wasn't placed in there. So they can choose to use that back or not. You can see that some of the swimmers have their foot up on where it says Butler.
I see that. What's the difference, if any?
It gives you a better push off, get further distance in the air, I think.
This is the 200 free?
Yes, 200 free. Lane 1 for Seneca, Rhea Dietz. Lane 2, Marley Fish. Lane 3, Emily Tecklenburg. Lane 4, Laura Gettler. Lane 5, Cara Del Toffolo. And lane 6, Celia Ray. So this is Laura again. Laura has had quite an impressive year. As I said, she broke the 2 pool records. She's our school record holder in the 100 breast and the 200 IM. This is sort of an off event for her. She's a 3-time WPIL champion, 200 IM 2 years in a row, 100 breast last year, 2-time state qualifier. She is the runner-up last year in the 100 breast in the state.
And that was a narrow, she almost won.
Yes,
that was a real tough race.
In October, she was invited to the National Elite Training Camp at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. And she swam in the summer national meet, championship meet out in Irvine, California. And she was 21st in the nation in the 200 breaststroke.
That's impressive. Now she competes in 4 events. Is there a limit? Is 4 the limit that they can compete in?
Yeah. Now, she also swims U.S. swimming. That's what the 200 breast, that's her best event. So unfortunately, it's not a high school event.
It's interesting. Now, how often do you get scouts coming around from colleges coming to your swim meets?
Every once in a while.
Do they call ahead of time? They just show up?
Yeah, there's certain NCAA rules when they can call, when they can't.
It looks like Laura has a sizable lead.
Yes. Wow. So Laura touches with a 1:55.07. Seneca Valley, I think they are cheering. They just had 2 girls qualify for the WPIO meet in the 200 free. So that would be lane 3, Emily Tecklenburg, and lane 5, Cara Del Toffolo. So they both qualified for the WPIO meet. The qualifying time was a 2:03.
I think they had something like eight swimmers qualified.
Oh, way more. I can't
more
remember.
Than that? Okay.
Yeah, we have 8 individual swimmers, 4 boys, 4 girls.
And
they have way more, yeah. But that's always the goal this last home meet, or last dual meet before Whippeals, is for those swimmers that haven't qualified yet, this is kind of like their last chance.
So we're going with the boys.
200 free.
Free.
Yes. In lane 1 for Seneca, Matt Stevens. Lane 2 for Butler, Michael Milton. Lane 3 for Seneca, Kevin Donaldson. Lane 4, Tanner Wittmeyer for Butler. Lane 5, Max Breedel for Seneca. And lane 6, Nathan Ellis, Butler.
Sammy, why when I look here, you see not time for some of them and others that have a time?
Their coach just didn't submit times when we put it into the computer system. So lane 3, Kevin Donaldson, he's a freshman for Seneca. He's had a pretty impressive freshman year. He's qualified in the 50 free, 100 free, 200 free, 500 free, 200 IM, and 100 back.
Amazing. Freshman. So I'm going to guess he probably started the swim when he was like in 2nd or 3rd grade.
I remember his name being around for a while. And also their swimmer that's in, looks, well, tied between 1st and 2nd in lane 5 is Max Breedel. He's a senior, he's the captain. He's qualified for every WPIAL event this year except the 500, and he's going for it tonight. So we'll cheer him on. Last year, he was a member of the 8th place WPIAL 200 freestyle relay team that set a new Seneca Valley school record. And he is a 4-year WPIAL qualifier.
And Seneca Valley in the lead here. We call it a commanding lead. 1st and 2nd,
yes. Tanner's trying to get up there in lane 3 for Butler. Or lane 4, sorry.
I can only imagine the endurance you have to compete in 4 events.
Oh, yeah.
Are you getting more swimmers out these days than in the past, or fewer?
Not really,
no?
Unfortunately. Not at Butler. Seneca has built a great, Brian Blackwell, the head coach, and Jeff, his assistant. They've built an amazing program for younger kids, and that's why you see their numbers are huge.
Brian Blackwell, the coach at Seneca Valley, and of
Yes.
course David Bocci, your husband, the coach at Butler.
Yes.
And you give him tips all the time.
I try not to. So our winner is lane 3 with a 151.20, Kevin Donaldson, the freshman. And 2nd place was lane 5, Max Breedel, with a 153.35, and finishing in 3rd, Tanner Wittmeyer from Butler with a 156.93. And I know that's Tanner's best time, so great swim.
And what will it take these times to win a WPL championship?
To win?
Yeah, you got to be under that.
There's some Seneca, or North Allegheny boys. They are tough. They're the fastest team in the nation.
I was amazing, and I read over the summer that they were rated the #1 swim team in the country.
Yep.
You would think it would be some team maybe from California that would have that distinction.
North Allegheny. And I know they've had some swimmers actually move in to North Allegheny from out of state to specifically be on their swim team.
Okay, this is the 200.
This is the 200 IM, the individual medley.
medley.
So each swimmer does 2 laps of each stroke. Butterfly, then backstroke, then breaststroke, and then freestyle.
Once again, no times for Seneca Valley.
Not on the psych sheet now. So in lane 1, we have Kendall Craig. Lane 2, Morgan Castile. Lane 3, Taylor Schofel. Lane 4, Rachel Ledford. Lane 5 for Seneca, Julia Listwag. And lane 6, Autumn Birch for Butler.
That seems like Rachel Ledford has had a pretty solid year.
Yeah, tonight she's hoping to qualify in the 200 IM for WPIAL. She has not yet, just the 100 back. Lane 1, Kendall Craig, I read here, she's a sophomore. She has qualified for every single event for WPIALs this year.
Now you see standing next to each swimmer. What are those individuals there?
Well, you have 2 timers
Okay.
with plunger. So that is a backup time for the touch pads in case the swimmer doesn't come in and touch.
Then there's a backup.
And that's a backup with the backup system on the computer. And if that fails, then you have the 2 timers, so you take an average of the 2 times.
The way they used to do it in the old days.
You just had the 2 timers and you took an average. And the officials called the order of who scored first, second, third, and fourth. So while we're waiting, in lane 3, Taylor Schoeffel for Seneca Valley. She's a junior. She's a 3-year whip wheel qualifier. She's qualified this year for whip wheels in the 200 free, the 500 free, the 100 back. And she competed in the USA Swimming's Futures Championship this past summer. So that's a U.S. swimming competition.
So
Many of Seneca Valley swimmers swim on the Seneca Valley U.S. team.
So I imagine a lot of these swimmers swim together during the summer.
Yep. Or they know each other.
Is it equivalent to the basketball AAU teams?
It is, yes.
So now tonight's the swim meet. So last night, what kind of a practice would you have the day before a meet? Real light?
Well, you have 3 different groups. You have the swimmers that are completely tapered for tonight. That means rested. They've backed off on their yardage. They're trying to qualify for whip wheels. You have the middle group that's maybe qualified in 1 or 2. So they're half rested because they want to make another qualification. And then you have the group of our 8 swimmers that already qualified for WPILs. So they're just starting to rest now because the whip wheel meets not for 2 more weeks down at Pitt.
Right. Does it start the 28th?
28th and March 1st.
And March 1st.
Yes.
It's been at Pitt's Trees Field House.
Trees Pool. Yep.
Trees Pool for a long, long time.
Yes. So we have a hold up here. I think the officials are at the scoring table, so I'm not sure what the hold up is.
So then the day before, you're just going to kind of stay loose and not
you do
push
like
it
a
too hard.
pre-meet warm-up, basically.
I've heard the latest thing that a lot of athletes are relying on for to replenish their bodies, the loss of sodium, drinking pickle juice.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's the latest thing.
That's interesting. Usually
it's
it's
supposed
Gatorade.
it's supposed to prevent cramps too. And I imagine swimmers deal with cramps.
Yeah, a lot of them you'll see they have these rollers. They'll roll over their muscles to keep them loose and not sore. During the Olympics, you might have seen those circle marks on the backs of a lot of swimmers. It's called cupping. That's a new thing they're doing to get rid of soreness in muscles.
Now, I know a lot of college, for example, football programs with the nutrition tables, but they've also gone during the week with massage therapy also.
Yeah, I think some of the universities have massage therapists, physical therapists that work with the swim teams.
Now, when I read that about the pickle juice, I did a little experiment on my own when I had some pickles, and I took a sip, and I could tell you, I could take a sip, but drinking a jar or a glass of it, that would be hard to do.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But you could taste, of course, the salt that's in there.
Right.
You know, before they said chocolate was good. I think a lot of the Swiss athletic teams relied on chocolate more so than Gatorade to replenish their athletes. So being a mom, you can experiment at home with the chocolate and the pickle juice.
That sounds good.
You can certainly experiment first with your husband and then your son.
My family doesn't like pickles. There's something wrong with them.
Oh, my God. I love
I know.
pickles. All right. It seems like they have things sorted out finally.
Yep. Looks like it.
Is this a dispute or a disagreement or something?
It could be. Sometimes if places are real close or the touchpads don't work.
Up next, event 5, the girls 200-yard.
So now we're ready for the 200 individual medley. asked Paige about diving, the tall diver versus the shorter diver. The swim events, how much a difference is that between, say, a swimmer who's 6'1" or 6'2" and one who's 5'8"? Is there a difference there?
Sometimes height is always a good thing, especially in swimming. You have
the reach.
You have a better reach and less distance to go. Matter of fact, some college coaches won't even look at, my son, he's starting to look at colleges. They won't even look at boys unless they're 6 foot or taller to recruit for their team. But there's some very short swimmers that have been excellent too. So it just
my
depends how
thinking was
efficient.
the taller, the longer the stroke, the more work you're doing. But that's my interpretation. Which pretty close here between Butler and Seneca.
So in looks like lane 1, Kendall Craig is in the lead for Seneca. Lane 3, Taylor Schoeffel. Rachel Ledford for Butler's lane 4 is hanging in there. Kendall Craig looks like she has significant lead.
Now, during the meet, you allow the swimmers to drink Gatorade and stuff like that? During the
they
meet?
should stay hydrated.
And during the summer competition, is a lot of the swimming outdoors, or are you still indoors?
Outdoor. Well, many of them train outdoors because you have long course pools like Alameda. I know Seneca Valley and Butler both use Alameda to train. Some of the meets are indoors. Pitt, Youngstown State, they hold meets in the winter, in the summer because they're long course. So it looks like Kendall Craig is coming in with the lead. She finishes with a 2:15.32. And in second, Taylor Schoeffel from Seneca Valley with a 2:18.47. And third, Rachel Ledford with a new 2:19.38. She just missed the Whippeal qualification with it, which is a 2:18.50. She gets one last chance Saturday. North Allegheny hosts a last chance meet for any swimmers that haven't qualified for WPALs.
So the team doesn't have to come. You can come as an individual.
Well, the coach, So my husband's taking a handful of swimmers, So next we have the boys 200 IM. In lane 3, Owen Blazer for Seneca Valley is one of the best swimmers I've seen in high school. He is a junior. He's qualified for Whippeals in every single swimming event this year. He's placed second in the 100 backstroke and third in the 100 fly at Whippeals last year. He placed seventh at the state meet in the 100 backstroke. He's the Seneca Valley record holder in the 200 medley relay, 200 free relay, 200 IM, 100 fly, 100 backstroke, and he is a USA national, junior national qualifier.
Very impressive. And the best time on here that I could see with the Butler swimmers is David Bocci with 2:01.24.
My son is hoping to break 2 minutes tonight. Owen will give him a good
And you need that kind of competition to get there.
Yeah, David's going to qualify, or he's going to compete at the Whippeals in the 200 IM. So this is a good race for him to swim against Owen.
Now David's a junior?
He's a sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah. So, David last year qualified in the 500 and the for states as a freshman. He actually got the walking pneumonia right before Whippeals. So it was pretty impressive. He did that well.
And he still swam?
Yeah, and he got 5th at Whippeals in the 500. And he swam the 200 IM, and he just didn't have enough strength. I think he finished 12th. So he's really hoping to do well. This is a great race. Owen in lane 3, David in lane 4.
And so the doctor didn't say, you shouldn't swim? Or
No, he was out the whole week before Whippeals.
Okay.
And he wasn't going to pass it up. So the other swimmers in lane 1, Daniel Simoes from Seneca Valley, Simon Deal in lane 2 for Butler, lane 5, Zach Laskowski from Seneca, and Luke Nelson in lane 6. You know how hard this is for me not to scream and cheer.
I know. With pneumonia, usually you lose some weight.
Yeah, he did, and strength.
Because you don't feel like eating.
So Owen's in the lead.
David second.
Yes.
I see what you mean by Owen.
He's
very
great. So
strong.
Owen finishes first with a 158.73. David with a 201.29.
201, that's a 0.5.
Yeah, not quite where he wanted to
difference.
be. In lane 1, in third place was Daniel Simoes with a 203.95.
And Blazer is, what class is he in?
He is a junior.
Junior.
And Luke Nelson, lane 6, he's just finishing for Butler. He just started swimming this past summer, so pretty impressive. Just started swimming at 200 IM.
Hey, to finish any of these events is impressive.
Right. So next we have the 2 fast events, the 50 frees.
So outside a decided win for Laura Gettler, this has been pretty competitive swim meet.
Yeah, well, I think Seneca's have a pretty commanding lead. They've been finishing
in
first
both.
and second, or second and third. Like I said, they have a lot of swimmers. They have
It's
great
not
depth.
always taking the first, it's getting those second and
So
third.
second,
That's what
third,
you said
fourth,
before about the depth.
Yep.
All right, what are we seeing here?
So 50 free, we have in lane 1 for Seneca, Edie Sawyer. Lane 2, Katie Knights. Lane 3, Bella Stefanovitz. Lane 4, Ellie Weiss. Lane 5, Kristen Bedell. And lane 6, Kendall McClister. So in first,
Wow, that was
an
fast.
outside smoke. Lane 1, Edie Sawyer with a 26.48. Second place in lane 3 with a 26.66, Bella. And in third, lane 4, Ellie for Butler with a 26.87.
So how was that time for Sawyer?
I'm not sure because we have a no time entry, so.
Okay, so we don't know if that's
Right.
a better time for her or not.
But Edie is a sophomore. She qualified for states last year in the 100 breast. She finished 5th last year at Whitbeals in the 100 breast and 5th in the 200 medley relay. She qualified for Whitbeals this year in the 100 breaststroke and 200 IM. And her goal is to break the Seneca Valley women's school record in the 100 breast. And she is also a USA Swimming future meet qualifier. So that was the winner in lane 1 from Seneca.
Now we go to the boys, 50-yard freestyle.
So in lane 1, we have Connor Anderson. Lane 2, Zach Calathan for Butler. Lane 3, Jonathan Simoes. Lane 4, Ben Borbendeg from Butler. Lane 5, Brian Whitney. And lane 6, Cole Kish.
Who's also a diver. There's one of the questions
also a
I was
diver, yes.
asking.
So
about
Ben
divers.
is a freshman, and he is qualified in the 50, the 100, and the 200 free, and the 100 back. He is a tough competitor. Freshman. He is in the lead right now. And looks like in second is Jonathan, lane 3 for Seneca. And Ben finishes first with a 22.47. Jonathan from Seneca, 23.15 in second. And in lane 3, second for Butler is Zach Callahan with a 24.04.
Well, quite a feat for Benjamin to win this as a freshman.
Definitely. So now we have our break.
We'll have a 10-minute break, and then we come back. Things will really go fast, but these final, what do we have, 7 events coming up after the break. So we'll be back. By then, they'll have the diving scores ready to be
They should have
added
them
in.
announcing.
So we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Armstrong Comfort Solutions is now the best choice for all your heating and cooling needs. New installations or service calls, our expert technicians can provide you with the service and support you need to keep your home comfortable, no matter the season. We offer products from industry-leading brands like Carrier and Mitsubishi, and we're here for you with 24/7 local support and emergency service. Call us today at 724-789-9100 and experience the satisfaction you've come to expect from Armstrong.
Abby Griffith, she is a sophomore. She qualified last year in the 100 fly, 100 back. She scored 9th at Whippeals in both the 100 fly, 100 back.
And just looking here, as we mentioned, everyone knows about the powerhouse at North Allegheny. Seneca Valley girls 10-1. Their only loss was to North Allegheny by a score of 97 to 87.
They're pretty impressive.
Good crowd on here tonight, as it is senior night.
So we have a score up on the board now. We have, this is probably after diving points, Butler women 26, Seneca Valley 56, Seneca Valley men 48, Butler 30. So Seneca's winning both the men and the women.
So you mentioned that this Saturday at North Allegheny will be a last chance meet.
For any swimmers that are pretty close to the Whippeal cut times that haven't made it yet.
You have to be close to the cut time to qualify for this.
Right.
Here we go. "100-yard butterfly."
Is a 2-time qualifier in this 100 fly. She's looking to make it a 3rd time. She needs a 101.50. Close race between Gianna and Abby Griffith of Butler in lane 4.
Seems like this takes an awful lot of upper body strength.
And a strong kick. Very close race.
They're head-to-head.
Gianna looks like she has a tech suit on, so she is going for it, qualify.
Well, this may end up in a tie. Seneca just pulling ahead. Oh, I think Butler got it. No, was it Seneca? That was so close.
Gianna qualified. She got her cut time. She got first with a 1:30.30. Abby Griffith second with a 1:39.
What a great race that was.
Fantastic race. And in 3rd, we have in lane 5, Delaney from Seneca Valley.
That wasn't decided until like the last 4 or 5 strokes.
Very close. But congratulations to Gianna for qualifying, and Abby also got her qualifying cut time. So in the 100 fly for the boys, in lane 1, we have Pace Zek for Seneca Valley. Lane 2, Alex Deemer. Ooh, we have the 2 brothers going against each other. Alex Deemer in lane 2, Sam Deemer in lane 4. In lane 3 for Seneca, Daniel Simoes. In lane 5, Ren Han for Seneca Valley. In lane 6, Tanner Frankenstein for Butler.
Well, for the Deemers, it'll be who will have the bragging rights at in school tomorrow.
Yeah. So, talk about brothers. Seneca Valley also has a set of brothers. Daniel Simoes is swimming right now. He's a freshman. He qualified for Whippeals in every swimming event this year. He specializes in the IM, the backstroke, and the butterfly. Right now, close race between the Deemer brothers and Daniel in lane 3.
Amy, how do you divide the practice time when you're in multiple events?
That's up to the coach and what they want to work on. It's like Sam Deemer's pulling ahead just a little bit in lane 4 for Butler.
Alex in lane 2.
And Daniel for Seneca. Oh, Alex is pulling ahead here. So Sam finishes first with a 53.79. Alex Deemer, 55.10 in second place. In lane 3, Daniel from Seneca with a 55.35.
So Sam was just a little bit ahead of his best time, 52.96.
Sam is a sophomore for Butler. Last year he qualified for states in the 100 back. At Whippeals last year he took 8th in the 100 back and 12th in the 100 fly at Whippeals last year. Alex Deemer He's a 2-time state qualifier in the 200 free and 500 free, and he's our school record holder in the 200 free. So this was an off event for Alex.
Waiting to see the scores come up as we head to the girls' 100-yard freestyle.
Okay, so in lane 1, we have Emily Tecklenburg from Seneca Valley. Lane 2, Emma Stewart Butler. Lane 3, Olivia Maynor for Seneca. Lane 4, Savannah Holt for Butler. Lane 5, Kristen Bedell for Seneca. And Grace Lombardo for Butler, lane 6. So Savannah Holt is a freshman for Butler. She's qualified in the 100 free, the 200 free, and the 100 breast.
So Seneca Valley girls leading 61-31, and the Seneca Valley boys 48-30.
And in lane 3 for Seneca, Olivia Maynor. She's a senior. She's a captain. She competed in the Whippeals the past 3 seasons. She qualified in the 50 free for Whippeals this year, and her goal is to make it in the 100 free tonight. So we'll cheer her on. She's a member of the 200 medley relay team that placed 5th at Whippeals last year, 200 free relay that placed 7th at Whippeals last year. And she's a member of the 200 and 400 free relays that made it to states her sophomore year. So Olivia is trying to qualify tonight. She needs a 55.90. And she has the lead right now, and is she going to get it?
She does.
55.85.
So she got just under it.
Got it, yes. And Savannah Holt gets second for Butler with a 6.55. Okay, and next we have the boys 100 free coming up. So in lane 1, we have Brian Whitney. Lane 2, Zach Calathan for Butler. Lane 3, Max Skeen for Seneca Valley. Lane 5, Ben Borvendeg for Butler. I'm sorry, lane 4. Lane 5, Zach Lazowski for Seneca. And lane 6, Tom LaRue.
And Benjamin Borvendeg with a, looks like a good time to me, 48.86.
Yes. He's going to do well. He'll be shooting qualified for the state meet.
Boys 100-yard freestyle.
So, Amy, how'd that score from women go from 61-31 back to 52-26?
Oh, that's a good question. There might be some things going on at the scoring table. So Ben Borvendeg right now for Butler is in the lead. Close behind him in lane 3 is Max Skeen.
Great push off for Benjamin.
So it looks like Ben is going to win pretty easily. And he touches with a 49.97. In second place, Max Skeen with a 51.96, and in third in lane 5 with the 52.77, Zach.
So a solid win for Benjamin Borvendeg for Butler.
Okay, next we have our distance event, the 500. This is 20 laps. So many laps, they have to have counters at the end of the lane.
I don't know if I could walk that
track
in the water, that many laps.
So in lane 1, we have for Seneca Valley, Julie Listwack. Lane 2, Morgan Castile. Lane 3, Emma Kraber for Seneca. Lane 4, Eve Murhot for Butler. 5, Delaney Molinaro. And lane 6, Marley Fish for Butler.
So I would think you get anywhere around 5.5. That's outstanding.
The Whippeal qualifying time for girls is pretty close to that, 5 minutes, 27 seconds.
This is the event for Team Girls 500 Freestyle. Lane 1 today is Lane 2 will
Don't imagine if you're in this event that you could be in 3 other events.
You can do 2 individuals and 2 relays.
But I mean, to be in this one and 3 others is pushing it.
Oh, even if they are, I see.
Let me ask you, is someone helping them keeping track? Because it seemed to me be easy to lose.
Yeah, you can see at the end of the lanes, they have the counters.
Oh, okay. They put that down into the water.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Won't be long before that'll be electronic, too.
This is true.
Artificial intelligence is slowly going to take a strong hold on athletics and every sport. So 3 Seneca swimmers close together.
Yep, right now Seneca's in the lead in lanes 1, 3, and 5. This is what you call a sweep.
Yeah, they're way out ahead. I could see why they're 10-1, the Seneca Valley girls.
Yes, very solid. A lot of depth.
Having lost only 97-87 to North Allegheny, I'm sure they're looking forward to meeting them again in the WPL Championships.
Absolutely. Right now, swimmers are approaching almost the halfway point.
So actually you have 3 Seneca Valley swimmers competing against one another.
Yeah, they're all pretty much head to head. Lane 5.
Just getting halfway through.
Yep.
I'm just amazed at the endurance factor for this race.
It is a distance sprint, pretty much.
I would call it grueling.
Now in college, they have the 1,000, and also in U.S. swimming, and the
40 laps.
Yes, and then they have the 1650, the mile.
Which would be close to what? 80 laps for the 1650,
I think
something.
it's 66. It's like lane 5, Delaney's taking the lead.
Well, you see the difference right there. Some of them coming into their 15th lap and others just coming into their 13th.
I noticed at the end of lane 5, the girl, she's counting down instead of giving the actual lap. I was confused at first.
That confused me too when I looked over there.
I've never seen that before, ever.
Okay, she counted down
She's
to
counting
3.
down, yeah, I don't even know if you're allowed to do that. I've never seen that. Whitfield qualifying time is 4:27:50. By the way her coaches are reacting, she must be close.
Okay, now someone has mentioned to her to change the lane count.
Okay, that whistle means the lead swimmer has 2 laps left.
And they can hear that in the water?
Yes.
So the red means you're down to your last
lap. She needs
And that's Delaney.
Yep, she's just going to
Molinaro.
She finishes first with a 5:30.48. Whitfield qualifying time is a 5:27.
Outstanding time.
Great job. And lane 3 finishes third.
Emma Krieber.
And lane 1, Julia Lisek finished in second. Eve Merhop for Butler in fourth.
Strong performance for the Seneca Valley girls.
Definitely that 1, 2, 3 is really going to help their score.
So the scores have not changed.
They haven't updated them now.
No, they have not updated.
So the boys 500 in lane 1 for Seneca, Connor Anderson. Lane 2, Tanner Frankenstein for Butler. Lane 3, Kevin Donaldson, the freshman from Seneca Valley. Lane 4, Alex Deemer. Lane 5, Max Breedel. And lane 6, Luke Nelson. This is Alex Deemer. He's our senior. This is his best event.
And he normally competes in 4 events, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, 2 relays, 2 individuals. So between the 200, 500, these are Alex's best events. Last year, Alex got third at the WPILs in the 500 and fourth in the 200.
So is practice in the morning before school or after school?
Sometimes both.
Both.
So they do morning practices and then afternoon practice after school every day and on Saturdays.
Wonder how many of these cold mornings they'd like to say, I just want to stay in bed and sleep all day.
Most.
Kevin Donaldson in 3, Alex Deemer in 4, Max Breedel in 5, and Luke Nelson in lane 6.
Anderson of Seneca Valley in 1, Frankenstein of Butler in 2, Kevin Donaldson, Seneca Valley 3, Alex Deemer, Butler 4, Max Breedel of Seneca Valley in 5, and Luke Nelson of Butler in 6.
So how they train by this, they go by their 50s, their 50 splits. 50 is 2 laps.
A great time for Deemer this year, 4:50.04.
His best is a 4:30 something.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to say 4:35 or 6 at sectionals last March. So right now, looks like Alex is pulling out in the lead.
Yeah, she has a strong lead.
So the coach can tell how well they're doing by what their 50 hold times are, what the time is at each 50 mark. Like Alex's 50 there was a 28:79. And that way the coach can tell them if they need to hold their pace, or if they need to pick it up.
It's amazing that they could hear anything with the crowd noise and their swim caps on.
I know. So we have Alex in first, and second, looks like Kevin Donaldson, the freshman from Seneca. And in third, Max Breedel from Seneca.
Deemer is more than halfway through. finishing number 11. Now you could tell with the lead that Deemer has. Is he doing anything different? Is he slowing it down, or no change in his pace?
His 50 splits have been pretty much
staying around the 28,
29 mark.
So with the WPL Championships coming up on the 28th of this month, which would be in 2 weeks,
yes.
And then March the 1st. Are those events out all day long? They
yes.
get out of school for those days?
Yes. AAA performed in the morning, the first half of the meet, the first half of the events, and then AA performs in the afternoon, the first half events, and then on Friday, March 1st, you'll do the second AAA, which is what Butler and Seneca Valley are in.
So it'll be Thursday and Friday, 2 weeks
yes.
from tonight. And I imagine if you don't get there early, you're not getting in the trees.
The parents sleep out all night in tents.
You're kidding me.
Yes, they're guaranteed tickets, but to get the seating's not great at Trees Pool.
No, I remember
so
that.
To get a good spot, they sleep out in tents.
They're just
crazy.
a fan to drive down there,
Yeah.
and forget about it.
No, but I will tell you this, Trib Live, they broadcast it live. I watched it online last year. It was fantastic.
Great. So
I will not be sleeping out in a tent.
no, I don't. Especially if you get some 18-degree weather night out
exactly.
there. Deemer finishes strong ahead of the pack.
With a 4:51.74.
That's just a second off his best time of 4:50.04.
For the season so
far. For the season,
yes.
yes.
Yeah. And like I said, he hasn't really started resting yet. So next we have after our Butler swimmers are finished here, we have the 200 freestyle relay. So each member does 2 laps of freestyle.
How would you rate the difference in difficulty between the 100 fly, the 100 backstroke, and 100 breaststroke?
As far as
which one's the more difficult of the 3? Is there a pecking order there? This one's more difficult than the other one?
It all depends what you can specialize in. Breaststroke, I think, is the most difficult stroke for swimmers to be efficient and strong in. And a lot of backstrokers are good butterflyers too. So those 2 strokes kind of go together for whatever reason. Like that's Owen Blazer's best 2 events and Sam Deemer's best 2 events. So the girls for Butler for this 200 free relay, they have not qualified for WPIALs yet, so that's their goal tonight.
And Amy, they have updated the score for the women. It's 87-39 Seneca Valley. And no update yet on the boys.
All right, in lane 1 for Seneca, for the relay, we have Edie Sawyer, Gianna Petrella, Cara DiToffolo, Carly Brunello. In lane 2 for Butler, Marley Fish, Kendall McClister, Autumn Birch, Celia Ray in lane 3. In lane 3 for Seneca Valley, Kendall Craig, Rhea Dietz, Katie Clark, Olivia Maynor. Lane 4 for Butler, Laura Getler, Savannah Holt, Abby Griffith, and Rachel Ledford. And in lane 5 for Seneca, Kristen Bedell, Maya Dietz, Sarah Stevens, and Taylor Schofel. So right now in the lead is Butler with Laura Getler.
And Butler with a time of 1:46.49, their best this season.
And they need a 1:45 flat in order to qualify for Whitfield. So that is their goal tonight. They have not done it yet.
And Laura Getler off to a great
now
start.
We have Savannah Holt in the water for Butler. Abby Griffith on deck for Butler. They are in the lead. In second, it's like in lane 3 for Seneca. Katie Clark just dove in. Finally for Butler, the anchor is Rachel Ledford. And looks like Butler's gonna get the Whitfield qualification with a 1:41.83, yes.
Great time.
Seneca
They were
lane 3
primed and
comes in
ready for
second.
this.
Yes, Seneca gets second, third, and fourth.
So they just updated the boys' score, and it's Seneca Valley 71, Butler 55. As we head into the 200 free relay for the boys.
Okay, in lane 1 for Seneca, we're going to have Brian Whitley, Owen Tecklenburg, Pace, Zach Connor Anderson. In lane 2 for Butler, Michael Milton, Cole Kish, Tom LaRue, and Luke Nelson. It's our diver relay. It's our 2 divers. Seneca Valley, lane 3, Jonathan Samos, Max Steen, Kenvin Donaldson, and Max Breedel. Lane 4, Ben Borbendag for Butler, David Bocci, Sam Deemer, and Alex Deemer. Lane 5, Seneca, Zach Wazowski, Ren Hanzu, Matt Stevens, and Garrett Rogos.
And Butler's best time, 1:31.58.
So we have Ben Borbendag leading off for Butler, a slight lead.
So what's the difference between your first swimmer and the anchor? Who do you?
It depends on
You
the
could.
strategy.
They're interchangeable.
Sometimes you want to lead off strong, get them out to a lead. Sometimes you want to save your fastest for last to bring it home. It just depends. So David Bocci in lane 4 for Butler right now, and Max Skeen for Seneca in lane 3. Sam Deemer diving in for Butler, lane 4, and lane 3, Kevin Donaldson. Sam Deemer touches, Alex Deemer goes. And Max Breedel for Seneca in lane 3.
So the Deemers are in 4 events, and David Bocci's in 4 events.
Yes. Yeah, most of the swimmers are in 4 events. We have to, Butler, because we don't have the numbers.
You don't have that depth.
We don't have the depth, yeah. And Butler finishes with its best time, 1:30.71. Seneca gets second with a 1:33 flat.
So how do you get the younger kids involved, Amy? What kind of a youth program do you have here at Butler?
Basically, our only feeder program is the Butler Y. So, and a lot of those swimmers are from Knock and Mars. So it's difficult.
It's hard to get it started.
It is. And Butler has such a tradition of baseball and football, basketball, especially for boys. So it's very difficult to get boys at a young age into swimming.
Here we go, at 19, the girls' 100-yard backstroke.
So we go to the girls' 100 backstroke.
Oh, I see the boys just missed the school record in that relay.
Oh, did they?
Just by a second. Okay, we have the 100 backstroke, girls 100 backstroke. Lane 1, Annabelle Morrisard for Seneca. Lane 2, Rachel Ledford for Butler. Lane 3, Emily Kavanaugh, Seneca. Lane 4, Abby Griffith. Lane 4 for Butler. Lane 5, Delaney Ranawira. And lane 6, Ellie Weiss for Butler. So Abby has the lead right now. She qualified and placed 9th at Whippeals last year in this event.
Now, Ledford gets just a little bit of a break from the 200 free,
Right.
and jumping right
Same
back
with
in
Lane,
here
same with
with the
Abby.
backstroke. Just updated the score. The Seneca Valley girls up 93-47, and the boys up 77-63 for Seneca Valley.
Abby Griffith finishes first with, our timing board didn't work. Yep, they're gonna have to get backup times for that.
She had a 101
Something, yeah.
coming in.
Right, she had a 101 something, but the touchpad malfunction. 102.06, they just updated it. So Abby Griffith first, and second was Annabelle from Seneca Valley with a 103.81. All right, here we go. 100 backstroke. This is gonna be a great race. We have Sam Deemer in lane 4, lane 5 Owen Blazer, lane 3 Jonathan Samos, lane 2 Tanner Wittmeyer, lane 1 Owen Tecklenburg, and Simon Deal in lane 6. So
You
Jonathan
see Deemer
Simo-
54.81.
Yeah. And Jonathan is a senior for Seneca Valley. He is a captain. He qualified for Whippeals in the 200 free, 200 IM, 500 free, 100 back this year. He's a 4-year Whippeal qualifier. He swam in the USA Swimming Future Meet. He was named Seneca Valley's Junior Male Athlete of the Month, and he is committed to swim at John Carroll next year. So Jonathan is in lane 3, Sam Deemer lane 4, Owen Blazer lane 5. Should be a pretty good race.
Okay, event number 20.
And of course,
Owen
they're
finished second at Whippeals last year in this, and 7th in the state in the 100 backstroke.
so they're going to see one another here in 2 more weeks.
yes.
So this is like
Yep.
jockeying for position.
Definitely.
Owen Tecklenburg at 1, Tanner Wittmeyer 2, Jonathan Samos at 3, Sammy Deemer at 4, Owen Blazer at 5, and Simon Deal at 6.
Owen's underwaters are just amazing. So Owen Blazer out in the lead. Sam Deemer and Jonathan very close.
Blazer in lane 5.
Yes, he is in the lead. Sam Deemer and then Jonathan. Looks like Owen Blazer's going to get it with a 52.48. Sam Deemer 53.92, and Jonathan third with a 56.05.
So actually, Deemer's best time, 53.
That was his best time this year. Yes, 53.92. Okay, we have the 100 breaststroke.
Blazer with a 52.48.
So last meet, Laura Gettler missed her own pole record here by, I think, 0.2. So she's probably going for it again tonight.
How great that is. She owns a pole record here at Pine Ridge and at North Allegheny.
So in lane 1, we have Abigail Perry from Seneca.
Congratulations for Owen Blazer for hitting a full record.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Owen Blazer of Seneca Valley with that 52.48, a new pole record here at Butler.
Okay, next event.
And Josh Barthlow from Butler, graduated in 2003, held that record for many years, 16 years. So in lane 2, Savannah Holt for Butler. Lane 3, Sydney Swager from Seneca. Lane 4, Laura Gettler. Lane 5, Bella Stavanovitz. And lane 6, Eve Murhot. So Bella from Seneca, she's a sophomore. She qualified in the 200 free, 200 am, 500, 100, and 100 back. She competed in the 200 free and 500 at Whitbeals last year. She was a member of the 200 free relay, placed 7th at Whitbeals, and she was also named Seneca Valley's January Female Athlete of the Month.
So you think that the breaststroke is more difficult of the backstroke and the butterfly?
I do, as far as getting your stroke down. So Laura, it looks like she is going for it.
A commanding lead for Laura Gettler.
And Savannah Holt in second place for Butler. So Laura needs a 1:04.64 or better to beat her record.
Now you've watched her for 3 years. What makes her a great swimmer?
She's got natural feel of the water, and she's a hard worker. And she's going to get the pole record easily with a 1:03.46.
Boy, a lot of records falling here tonight.
Savannah gets her best time of the season with a 1:08.98, second place. Congratulations, Laura Gettler. She gets a new pole record with she beats her own record. She gets a 1:03.46.
You know how great that is when you're competing against yourself.
That's right.
I'm impressed in our area here, Western Pennsylvania, with the number of outstanding swimmers and swim programs. You had the girl from Mars several years ago, Gruber, went to Virginia Tech. The outstanding swimmers at North Allegheny, of course, what Laura Gettler's doing here. And Grove City had a championship team a few years back.
Yes. So we have 100 breaststroke now. Lane 2 for Butler, Michael Milton. Lane 2 for Seneca, Garrett Rogos. Lane 4, David Bocci for Butler. Lane 5, Matt Stevens for Seneca. And lane 6, Nathan Ellis Butler. Right now, David Bocci for Butler. As I said, this is his worst stroke, but we don't have any breaststrokers.
He has a 1:04.85.
Yeah, he did qualify for Whitbeals in it, yes. Looks like David's going to easily get it. And finishes first with a 1:05.69. And in second, in lane 3 for Seneca Valley, Garrett Rogos. And in third, lane 5, Matt Stevens.
So good time for David.
Not bad. All right, so we are down to our final event, the 400 freestyle relay. So each swimmer does a 100, which is 4 laps. So in lane 1 for Seneca Valley, we have Kristen Biddell, Taylor Schofel, Edie Sawyer, Delaney Molinaro. Lane 2 for Butler, Autumn Birch, Morgan Castile, Kendall McClister, Emma Stewart. Lane 3, Olivia Maynor, Kendall Craig, Sarah Stevens, Annabelle Massord. Lane 4 for Butler, Katie Knights, Ellie Weiss, Eve Murhott, and Marley Fish. And for Seneca in lane 5, Rhea Dietz, Julia Listwack, Gianna Petrello, and Emma Kraber.
And Butler's best time at 3:46.97. I'm sure all these swimmers tonight will have a healthy night snack before they go to bed tonight.
Hopefully. Hopefully healthy.
Not always the case.
Not always the case.
When you're young, you can do that.
Cereal is the big go-to in our house, late night snacking.
You have to hide the cereal or the ice cream and the cookies.
I try not to buy them.
I think if I remember correctly, they have a snack bar here at Butler. So
oh, of course they do. The concession stand. So it looks like Seneca's winning first, second, and third. This is their depth we were talking about, the girls.
I would like to see their matchup, the meet with North Allegheny WPL Championships.
It'll be fun to watch. So third swimmers are in the water for the relay. And the last swimmers are diving in right now.
We're over 3:20 in time. 3:30.
Yeah, this was the time with our fastest swimmers in it. Yeah,
This is not the case here this
no,
evening.
they don't have their top swimmers in this relay that received that time. So Seneca lane 3 finishes first with a 3:51.40. And Seneca gets second and third as well. That is a sweep.
And that will bring us to the final event for the boys 400 freestyle relay.
So in lane 1 for Seneca Valley for the boys, we're going to have Zach Lazowski, Matt Stevens, Connor Anderson, and Pace Zek. In lane 2 for Butler are Tom LaRue, Cole Kish, Tanner Frankenstein, Nathan Ellis. In lane 3, you're going to have Owen Blazer, Kevin Donaldson, Max Breedel, and Daniel Simoes. In lane 4 for Butler, Tanner Vittmeyer, Zach Calithan, Simon Deal, and Michael Milton. In lane 5, Renhan Zhu, Brian Britt Whitney, Garrett Rogos, and Max Skeen for Seneca Valley. And once again, I know our Butler team, they went for the 200 free relay, so these aren't our 4 fastest swimmers.
So the Seneca Valley girls will come away with their 11th win on the season. The only loss, once again, was to North Allegheny. And here's our final event for the boys, the 400 freestyle relay. 3:18.46, best time for the Butler boys.
I believe their relays has seeded 4th right now in the WPIL with their 4 fastest freestyle swimmers.
Seneca Valley's or Butler's?
No, Butler's.
Butler's.
That would be with Sam Deemer, Alex Deemer, David Bocci, and Ben Borbendig.
I would think Seneca Valley's would be good with Owen Blazer.
Absolutely. And Max, Kevin, Daniel, so this should be a good time for them.
The final score for the girls, Seneca Valley girls 114 and Butler 72.
Seneca boys in lane 3 out to commanding lead.
Yes.
In the water right now is Max Breedel. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. I apologize, Max, if I'm not.
Sounds good to me. Oh, Owen Blazer just with a strong start for the Braiders.
Definitely. He will be fun to watch at Whitfields and at the high school state meet.
And you say he's junior too?
Junior, yes. So 4th swimmer for Seneca Valley, Daniel Simoes, a freshman.
Seneca
finishes first with a 3:26.72. That was a close finish at the end there. I think Seneca squeezed in with a 3rd over Butler in 4th in lane 4.
Well, it's been an outstanding night of swimming. Chance to see a number of outstanding swimmers.
Okay, and that wraps up the 2018-2019 regular season. We want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and watching this game. Swimmers and divers, you did fantastic.
So just in 2 weeks, on the 28th of February and the 1st of March, a Thursday and a Friday, you'll have the WPL Championships at Tree Swimming Pool in the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. Seneca Valley sweeps here tonight. The girls winning 114-72, improving their record 11-1. The Butler girls drop to 6-4. The Seneca Valley boys, with the win, go to 10-2, and the Butler boys drop to 7-4. So I want to thank Paige Williams for her help with the diving, and Amy, always your help here on the other swimming events.
Thank you.
So that's going to wrap it up here at Butler High School's natatorium. Thank Carmen Bianco, our astute cameraman and producer, and an outstanding night of swimming here at Butler, and thanks for joining us.